Welcome back to Prep Class Study Acts. My name is Tutor Olalikon Israel, and in this session, we will be giving you the last 5 English study acts. In the previous video, we gave you 5 study acts. So in this video, we will be updating the last 5 study acts to make them 10 in number. But before we get to it, take a moment to subscribe to this channel, turn on the post notification so you can be notified whenever we upload any new content. Right, let's begin. The first 5 study acts we gave were: use the SQ3R study technique, 2. Set a study target, 3. Be patient, don't rush, 4. Develop your vocabulary, and 5. Take study breaks. Now, the 6th study act is speak what you've read. Speak what you've read. This is a very important act to retaining information from studying. Speak what you've read. Continuous recital helps to retain information. Continuous recital helps to retain information. Speaking engages the brain and the mind. When you speak what you've read, it helps to correct errors that might have occurred during studying, during reading. So, speak what you've read. It helps to retain information better. Alright, the 7th English study act is write down what you've read in your own words. Write down what you've read in your own words. When you write in your own words, it makes assimilation easier because what you have written out is a product of your thought process, so it won't be difficult to stick since it's going back to its origin, the brain, the mind, where it was first conceived. So, when you write that in your own words, it makes assimilation easier. You are writing down your own words, so you assimilate easier, you remember easier because you wrote it down and it came from your thought process, so it won't be difficult to stick since it's going back to its origin, your mind. That was where it was conceived first, so you've written it down now, so it will not be difficult for you to retain such information because it is a product of your thought process. So always write down what you've read in your own words. Right. The next study act is teach. 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 This is another very effective study act. Wonder why teachers seem so good? It's because they've been teaching what they've studied or learned. So the more you teach, the better you become. Because to teach, you need to study. You need to carry out research because you don't want to mess up before your learners. So, when you teach, you get to break down concepts to people in the best way you understand them. And as you teach people and they learn, you learn as well. So, it's a win-win for you. You learn while you teach. So, try to assemble your friends, your siblings, your parents, and ask to teach them that they should ask questions. So, while teaching, you get to learn better. When they ask questions, you get to learn better. If you don't know the answer to the questions they've asked, you go backwards to study again and you get extra information. So, teaching is another very effective act for studying. Always teach what you learned. Alright, another very important study act is create a unique code for concepts. Create a unique code for concepts. Now, while I was learning intonation patterns, I created a short code for the rising tune and the falling tune. So until today, I still answer questions on intonation without stress because the codes I created are stuck to my memory. So always create a unique code for concepts. For example, to remember the characteristics of living things, an acronym was created which most students still use today, Mr. Niger D. This was an acronym created to remember the characteristics of living things. This is a unique code. So whenever you remember Mr. Niger D, you remember the characteristics of living things. Now, until today, students still use Mr. Niger D to remember the characteristics of living things. Now, Mr. Niger D stands for M, movement, R, respiration, N, nutrition, I, irritability, G, growth, E, excretion, R, reproduction, D, death. So all of these are characteristics of living things, Mr. Niger D. This is a unique code. Create unique code for studying. types of pronoun, you can create a unique code using the initial letter, the initial alphabet of all the types of pronouns. So whenever you remember that acronym that you have created, you write it out. You now start picking out the different types of pronouns from that acronym, looking at the initials you have written out. So always create unique codes. Right. The last study hack is, while studying, make use of relatable everyday analogies, things you can relate with. When you're studying, relate it to everyday scenarios. This will help you to remember more of what you've studied, as they refer to everyday things you can relate with. While I was learning rhyme scheme, I used music. So when I sing a song, I pay attention to the end rhyme. So it makes me remember easily. So while studying, make use of relatable everyday analogies. This helps you to remember more of what you've studied, as they refer to everyday things you can relate with. Okay, and with that, we've come to the end of this wonderful study hack session. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. If you enjoyed this video, click on the like button. If you have any question, drop them in the comment section. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.